Hi guys, it's Geneva here, and if you haven't come across this channel before, I make videos on effective fat loss with women dealing with hormonal issues such as polycystic ovarian syndrome or prediabetes, as well as diabetes, especially how a plant-based diet can potentially cure those conditions or help the symptoms of those conditions. So my other videos go into more depth with that. I'm a fairly new channel, and welcome for coming across my channel. And I also congratulate you for coming across my channel if you're trying to make changes. I also make videos on mental health. So this video is going to be more targeted towards mental health and how mental health is affected for women dealing with these hormonal issues, and men too, obviously, but I think, a man can't really be affected by polycystic ovarian syndrome. They don't really have ovaries. However, men do obviously deal with hormonal issues or can deal with hormonal issues, so I'm not being biased here, I'm sorry. But yeah, so for you ladies who have polycystic ovarian syndrome and you're wondering where your mood swings are coming from, or if you're bipolar, if you're cyclothymic, if you're not crazy, okay? I thought the same thing too. I'm like, oh my god, I don't really understand what's going on in my body. I'm always either sad or I'm mad or I'm irritated for no reason. I'm either really ecstatic and happy out of nowhere. And yeah, I don't know if other women, from my experience speaking with other people who have PCOS, it's a very similar type of thing, either highs or lows, or a dysthymic mood, which is basically a chronic mild depression. So like there's many different types of mental illnesses that can occur with women who have these hormonal issues, and that's normal because when people have hormonal imbalances, this affects your neurotransmitters. You see these systems work together to balance out serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine are the transmitters, among others, that help regulate your mood, especially serotonin and dopamine. Norepinephrine and cortisol play a role in anxiety. Those can be heavily affected when dealing with prediabetes and PCOS, as your insulin affects those hormones as well. This is why it's important to regulate these hormones as much as possible. I didn't realize how much my mental health was going to be affected through weight loss, and it was. It did get better through weight loss. However, what I'd like to say is that confidence comes through weight loss if you correlate your weight with your confidence. However, I'd like to say that you're perfectly whole and complete the way that you are right now. I don't care how heavy you are, you're perfect the way you are. The only reason you should be losing weight is to stay alive and healthy and to be at your optimal self, to feel the greatest way that you want to feel. But I want you to know that you are already whole and perfect. The reason why it's important to know this is because during weight loss, certain issues can arise. And I think a lot of people don't talk about this very often. During weight loss journeys. I think only one big YouTuber spoke about it, and I thought it was incredible. Her name is Jordan Shrink. She's another vegan, she's another vegan YouTuber, but like she lost a huge amount of weight, around the same amount as me, around 140 pounds on a vegan diet. I didn't lose most of my weight on a vegan diet. However, I cured my health on a vegan diet. I think that's the main difference on this channel. But you can look at my other videos for that. This is what I want to talk about. If you don't love the way that you look now, right now, regardless of how heavy you are, if you don't love your true self and figure this out, you run risks of dealing with certain issues. And before you get into these issues, I'm going to help you achieve this before that becomes an issue. Okay, that might not make much sense right now, but I'm going to get into it. So going on the internet looking for ways to lose weight can be flawed, right? I've mentioned this in previous videos where a lot of the things online say that you need to cut your calories way too low, you should eat a lot of meat and not enough carbohydrates and do this and do that, which a lot of it is flawed because it's not tailored to your exact body weight, your BMR, basal metabolic rate. It's not taking into consideration how much muscle mass you have. It's not taking into consideration your individuality, basically. So you run risks of falling into an eating disorder. You run risks of obsessing over food. You run risks of increasing your mental illness and hormonal imbalances, even though you're losing weight. And essentially that is what happened to me and what happened to a whole bunch of other people I know who lose weight and who crash diet, if you will. That's what they call it, diet. I don't like using the term diet. I put it in my title because that's what people know it as, but it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle, and that is a true say. So, you do not want to diet. You really, really, really want to get to the core of understanding your body, and you want to work with your body to avoid all these issues. So that's the first thing you want to do. Go see your doctor, or not your doctor, actually. Doctors aren't educated in this. Go see a personal trainer or a nutritionist to get these specific things tested, your basal metabolic rate, and then they can calculate how many calories you actually need and then taper down slowly to a caloric deficit that is appropriate for your body. But do not go on the internet for that because it'll be way too low and your hormones will fluctuate and it's just not going to be a good recipe. It's going to be a recipe for disaster, essentially. So that's the first mistake a lot of people make, including myself. Secondly, if you don't love yourself for the way that you look now, you're going to obsess over this. You're going to say, well, I can cut it even lower, I'm going to lose more weight, and you're going to associate your worth with weight loss, and that is not the case. That is not what you want to do because this is going to increase your hormonal imbalance. If you don't eat what your body needs, your hormones are going to signal, whoa, what's going on? I'm going to go into automatic pilot here. Your brain will do that, and you're going to run the risk of binge eating. Let's say your body needs about, for example, your brain literally needs at least 400 calories coming from carbohydrates to function, just to function every day. And that's just your brain. Imagine every other organ. We need at least 1,200, 1,400 calories just to function. That's without moving or anything like that. And I think that's just per person. This varies per individual. So it's very important to eat calories coming from these macronutrients. This is why it's important to go see somebody and not to cut your calories too low, because then essentially your brain is going to go into this survival mode and you will end up binging. And then when that happens, if you associate your worth with your weight, you're going to feel extremely guilty, and then this runs your risk of developing another mental disorder, either being depressed, having an eating disorder, etc. And that happened to me. It happens to a lot of people who try to lose weight. There's even some people I know who aren't necessarily like they don't necessarily have eating disorders, but they have eating disorder mentalities that like literally they're almost there, and if nobody's there to snap them out of it, they can literally be there. And within the first year of my weight loss journey, I didn't love myself. I associated my worth with my weight, and I cut my calories too low. I developed bulimia nervosa, and after that, I developed atypical anorexia because I associated, oh my God, I'll only be worth something if I become skinny. And my hormones got fucked up. So, yeah, and this is something that you don't want to do. So, those are my main tips. Please go see somebody because you need to understand that you want to work with your body. Now, why the plant-based thing? Because clearly I mentioned that your hormones affect your transmitters. Meat affects your hormones. Meat contains hormones regardless of if it is organic or not. That is just the case. Plants do not contain these things, especially if they're organic plants. But even if they're not organic plants, they are way better for you than meats. So they are your ultimate best friends. You can eat them in abundance. You don't have to worry about how much you're eating of them, and you can eat carbohydrates to your heart content. I eat pasta all the time, and my hormones are perfectly fine. I went from being pre-diabetic to being having completely normal blood sugars, no cholesterol in 2 weeks of being plant-based, and I am 10 months into being a vegan, and I never crave meat, and I am not looking back. So those are my honest tips to you, and my tips to it's easier said than done to loving yourself for who you are now. This honestly comes with a lot of brain work, meditating, acting as if. And acting as if is a tool that some people use for self-confidence in psychology. Acting as if you are healthy and fit now, even though you don't feel it. Acting as if you are, you will become it. So let's say you are maybe 300 pounds right now. Acting as a fit and healthy individual, saying that I am fit and healthy, you will go maybe take a walk every couple of nights. You will eat your vegetables every single day. You will feed your body the nutrients that it needs. And slowly but surely, you are a fit and healthy individual, and you are acting as if. And that is how you build self-confidence. And you are beautiful. You are worthy and deserving of healing your PCOS and prediabetes, and stating these positive affirmations can honestly very much help with your self-worth and understanding that you are worthy right now and not when you're thin, because there is no correlation between being thin and worthy. You're worthy right now, regardless of your condition. Now you're worthy. So I think that's the most important part. Knowing your worth now, acting as if right now, will lead you to take that action to becoming healthy and beating your prediabetes and PCOS. So I think that's just very, very important to know. Those are the things that I wish I knew. I wish that I could have avoided, but at the same time, not, because I wouldn't be making this video telling you guys about it. And yeah, meditation really helps as well. I know this video was a little bit long, so I'll probably write down the little increments in the space below. So yeah, have a great day. And please know that you're worthy and deserving and whole and complete and beautiful as you are. And if nobody ever told you this today, I love you. Have a good day.